Hey, this is Jay.
And this is Bob.
And this is Steve.
And we are a Star Trek Discovery after show. We are called Alpha Quadrant 6. We are going to be covering Chapter 1, Episode 9, Into the Forest I Go. This is the last episode of the first half of the first season of Star Trek Discovery. There's lots of numbers involved in this. Apparently, I guess they're calling this part Chapter 1. Then in January, when it starts up again, that's Chapter 2.
I'm assuming, that would
right? That makes
sense.
This
was booked as the Chapter 1 finale.
Right.
It's also the mid-season finale.
And it was a two-parter. It was a two-part episode, pretty much,
yes,
right?
Right. The first one, really. Now, so the title comes from a quote by John Muir, who said the quote, or the original quote was, "And into the forest I go to lose my mind and find my soul." So that's where they got this title from. So
that's interesting.
Yep.
It seems kind of fitting because if you watch the episode, Stamets, right? Stamets. Stannis.
Damn it.
Isn't Stannis in Game of Thrones?
Yeah,
Whatever. All right, Stamets. We're going to call him Stamets. Stamets gets lost, and he's the guy I think that's. Well, they're all in the woods now, but he's the one that's truly lost.
Yeah, but let's go over like the
What
major
happened?
thrust of the entire episode.
Yeah.
Big episode.
Stuff happens. I like it when stuff happens. And I like series that are not afraid to have big changing things happen. We're not stuck in the same dynamic over and over.
Absolutely. The first couple acts were fine. I was enjoying them. But the third act, wow, they made some bold moves that I didn't think that they were going to make for a while. So that's actually good. I'm actually glad they made these changes.
Yeah. So the big thing that happened was that the Discovery confronted the sarcophagus, right? The Klingon ship of the dead, with Cole, who is trying to establish himself as the leader of the Klingon
And he's
Empire.
doing a great job. I mean, he's got a lot of houses aligning himself. He's giving them the technology.
He's giving them the cloaking technology in
Huge.
exchange for their loyalty, and he's basically uniting the Klingons. And with those cloaking devices, they make it sound like on the brink of defeating the Federation.
Yeah.
It's bad.
Absolutely. Although, if you remember, they said something about the cloaking technology that I did not like. They said that they're using some gravitational technology to bend the light, and that's actually kind of stupid, I think, because to bend light, what do you need to bend light?
A lot of gravity.
Serious bending,
gravity. Black hole level gravity.
Kind of black hole level gravity, not for major bending, and that is detectable. Just that alone, I think, would not be a good way to hide.
It wasn't a very sophisticated description.
No, it wasn't.
Technology.
Which is, that's
Which
okay.
Again, I mean,
And they were saying there was minor little things that they can pick up, imperfections that then they were going to do all this series of jumps to read, but then that's why they had to drop off the drone, the two transponders that they're putting into the ship. Right. I agree with you anyway. Getting back to the technology, it doesn't wash that way.
Right. If you're going to give a throwaway techno explanation
it was
or something,
a little simplistic.
make it a little better than something like that.
Yeah, I almost prefer technobabble to that.
Right.
Throw something out there that's not real.
Yeah, like the Heisenberg compensator.
Or say something.
Right.
Like this, they're using axion deflectors or whatever, something that sounds semi-real.
Throw Matrix in there. That's always a good.
The Java converters. That's always a good one to go to.
But just to make it straight up, they're using gravitational field to bend the light.
Yeah.
They're asking for trouble because that we could actually think about whether or not that would work.
Well, they clearly didn't call Phil Plait and ask him any questions about this episode.
Really, yeah.
Or any of us,
or
but
Brian
it's fine.
Or us. That's not for nothing. But I know. And also, don't they have neutrino detectors or something that wouldn't necessarily bend with the gravitational waves? But we'll see.
All right. So anyway, they figure out that they can do 133 jumps with the spore drive. Stamets had to do rapid fire jumping. Yeah. They were going to make the Klingons think they're just attacking their ship, but what they were actually doing was they were reading the two transponders that Michael and Tyler put on the ship. It's beginning of this. Still learning. Okay.
And remember, these transponders are. Oh yeah. These transponders are about this big.
Yeah.
With lights and beeping.
As soon as they deployed the first one, all three of us were like, "What?" It's like it even says connecting to the Discovery ship. Now it's like the thing would be flat as a pancake. It would look like the floor.
Okay, so. They made these things up quickly, so maybe they weren't optimized for stealth, and they're big, and they didn't miniaturize them. Okay, fine. They only needed them up. They only needed them up for a few minutes while they were doing the 33 jumps. But why the lights and the beeping? That seemed totally
I know.
gratuitous.
I would put black duct tape over the lights and the
Something.
microphone before I sent that
Disconnect
out.
the wire to the speaker that makes it beep.
But this is
Okay,
what,
but
this
they
is
look
what I
cool.
don't
Why
get.
is that cool?
Like
I
they,
know.
they put the order in for the props for that. I can't help but go meta on this. They put the order in for the props, right? So the prop guy's build. He doesn't know. He's then they're like it looks. They want it to look kind of diamond shaped, whatever. He's fine. But at some point, like the director had to go. That's what they built?
No, yeah.
Then we have to change the script to make them complain about, like, they could have easily just had a throwaway line that just said, man, these things are a dead
Like,
giveaway.
yeah, it tells you it's beeping.
Make sure you
Really?
hide the damn thing. And,
Yeah.
then someone could have just said, it's all we could do. We had 10 minutes to prepare.
Yeah,
Done.
yeah.
Then at least
Yeah,
we're not
yeah.
sitting there, like,
Right.
laughing at the stupid props.
And they did make an attempt to put them in an out-of-the-way place, behind boxes and stuff, right? They were kind of out of the way. They weren't like in the middle of a corridor, so they tried to hide them.
One of them was on the bridge, like, behind a post.
It was behind something.
Like, come
So they
on.
made some attempt to make them
Yeah.
out of the line of sight, but whatever.
Yeah.
So all right, that was goofy.
That's
that was
nitpicky,
goofy.
but still, I mean,
Yeah.
you got to think of like, why would they make it beep? Because you have to go out of your way to make it, light up and beep.
Right.
And
Yeah,
everything.
it was just a clear, to me, there's
a disconnect
It's a
there.
disconnect.
Okay.
So Tyler
Anyway.
gets PTSD when he sees his captor. Right?
All right, I did not buy this, guys. All
Tormentor.
right, this is a guy who, for me, one of his most defining characteristics was the fact that he went through months of torture
Yeah.
and was totally cool with it. Didn't say
230
anything.
something days of
it
torture.
was so, and then all of a sudden he sees this Klingon woman and loses his shit. He basically was
He
incapacitated.
had a meltdown, yeah.
That's
To
plausible.
me, that was too much out of the blue.
No, I disagree. You're wrong. That's
No.
totally plausible. That's how PTSD works. He was triggered, Bob. That was it.
But he even said later in the episode, I have nightmares every night. I don't remember any nightmare him having. If they had a scene with him waking up in a cold sweat just once,
Okay,
I would have bought that. I would have bought
it
it.
more. Fine.
That's all I'm asking.
Yeah,
for.
but
A
it
little
turns out,
foreshadowing.
oh boy, we got a little human, on
Klingon
Klingon, which I will affectionately refer to from here on out as T'Chuknik sex.
So yeah,
Right, so we got a lot of flashbacks, and I always want to go back and watch the cutscenes very quickly to
Yep.
see what
And
they
freeze
were showing.
frame it?
Yeah, so they were. Thank you. So they were showing not only scenes of him being tortured.
What
by
did they
the
show us,
female
Steve?
Klingon.
What did they show
They
us?
also showed that they were having sex.
What
right?
else did they show us?
And there was Klingon.
There was
nudity.
alien nudity.
There was alien nudity. Yeah,
Clearly.
You seem very.
I'm sorry. It was.
yeah,
Look, I'm a teenager on the inside.
Yeah,
I can't
I
help
got
it.
you.
Okay, this is
Sometimes
Star
on the
Trek.
outside, I
It's the
know.
first time in Star Trek, like literally the first time there's been any kind of nudity at all in Star Trek. Right?
Yeah, I guess so.
Bob,
Yeah.
what's your call
Full
on that?
Klingon nudity?
I
Yeah.
think. Yeah, I mean, clearly this is the Klingon boobs. This was the first, people. So yeah, it
It
happened.
It happened.
But anyway, so, but in terms of, I'm trying to get to the plot implications of all this, right? So we're.
Oh yeah. Go get to the plot.
yeah. So the superficially, they're selling it as he was not only a captive, she tortured him. She took a special interest in him. He was her pet.
Yeah.
Clearly, that got sexual, etc.
Yep.
And he had PTSD from seeing her. But there was some other stuff thrown in there, and if you look, I have to again. That's why I want to look at those.
What'd you
scenes
see,
again.
though?
I think that, and they imply this too when he goes to her and said, "What did you do to me?" I think they're essentially confirming for us that that she did something to him to implant her.
Like condition him?
No, I think that they actually did some surgery on him or something to put the consciousness of her Klingon,
Oh,
Yes.
so that fits in. That
Yes.
kind of wraps around
That's-
to what we saw like 4 episodes ago,
Yeah.
where she's talking.
he is her Klingon lover.
Oh man.
Yeah.
This is getting awful
Yeah, so
messy.
this is the biggest clue that guy, what was it? I forget his name. It's been a while since we've seen him. The Klingon,
The albino Klingon.
is
right? The white Klingon.
is in Tyler's head.
Yeah.
So that it's almost confirmed at this point.
Yeah, I mean they went right up to it.
Right.
Yeah. I mean it would be a serious head fake if it was something else going on. I agree.
Right. So that was big. That's one.
Okay, big.
That's
That's one big thing.
One big thing. So
Another-
what else? What else was big in
Well,
this
another
episode?
thing that happened that I didn't like this part, but Michael is crazy insubordinate.
Yeah.
I mean, the captain's like, "Here's the orders. This is what I need you guys to do. We're in the shit. The heat is on. Do it." And she's like, "Well, I think I'm qualified." It just seemed to me like she's like, "Will you just stop and let other people do their jobs?"
Well, yeah, she is.
First of all, she was right.
It doesn't matter if she was right. It doesn't matter.
That was fine because all she did was try to talk the captain into it, and he said okay. She didn't go behind his back.
Yeah, she didn't, neck pinch him or anything this time around.
Right.
She learned her lesson the first time.
Yeah,
But
she
still,
was a mutineer, so yeah, she is.
But still, I mean, at one point you could say, yeah, she's a strong character and she's smart, she knows what's going on, and she was factually correct. But it still rubbed me the wrong way that she did take one step too far going against the captain.
But she has nothing to lose. And she
Yeah,
made that very clear. That was her whole point. Listen, I'm here to win this war. I have nothing to lose. I have no life after that. Let me do my job. That's the only reason why I'm here.
Yeah,
So that
I
makes
get
sense.
it.
I thought she sold that.
And don't forget the context in which she did that. The Captain Lorca is going against Starfleet at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, so she threw in a little stridency. I'm okay with that.
All right, that slides into my
context
next
matters.
point.
Okay.
So, I mean, he was given direct orders by an admiral.
Yeah.
I don't know the admiral's name, but the admiral's shown up many times.
Vulcan Admiral.
Yes. And he's like, okay, fine, we'll go to the space station 49. See you
The
there.
admiral said, "Do not
Don't engage.
attack. Do not
Yeah.
engage. Leave there and go to the space station."
So he leaves. He's now
At warp,
he's warp
at
5.
warp.
He tells Stamets, hey, we got this plan. We need you to do all this stuff. They jump, they spore drive jump out of hyperspace.
Yeah.
Which, wow.
Subspace.
Rather. Wow. That's
Hyperspace is Star Wars.
Yeah, that's
subspace
right.
is Star Trek.
And while you're
Thank
talking about that, warp drive it's a new graphic on the screen, right? You can see
Yeah,
that
it looks different.
The stream,
Not surprised
streaming
about that.
stars.
Special effects.
They've
Yeah,
changed the look of everything.
I don't know how I feel about it. It's a little too diffuse, but whatever.
All
Okay.
right. So then,
How should it look?
so
Like
now,
the next generation.
At this point, Lorca is disobeying orders. He's
Yeah.
concocting
Yeah.
a maneuver so he could have an excuse about what's going on. Like he's bending the rules. He's having other Stamets and him were kind of like, okay, yeah, we're going to tell
That's
this.
Lorca's kind of thing.
Yeah, but
That's
still,
why he was attracted to Burnham in the first place.
he does this phenomenal lack of
Yeah.
following orders.
Yeah.
Okay,
Again, yes.
critical success. I get it. They
Yeah.
did great, and now they're going to put him up for like this huge award. They should be kicking his ass for
Yeah, but
disobeying
they
orders.
kind of have to. Like, if you have somebody who wins the war for you, you kind of need to make them into the hero, for everybody.
Yeah, but again, here's the subtlety that they're missing. They should have been like, "Hey, Lorca, lucky you,
Yeah.
your ass didn't get killed in this.
Yeah.
Lucky you that you triple saved the day. You know what? We're going to give you this award because we have to, but I'm going to stick my foot up your ass for about 3 hours when you get to the space
All right, so,
station."
hang on. I read all of that into the subtext of the Vulcan admiral talking to him when he was basically saying that in a Vulcan.
I didn't feel
reserve.
that.
I
I didn't
felt
feel
that.
it.
Like,
I didn't get it.
okay, you did it. You were successful. All right, but he knew that.
Did you pick that up?
Yeah,
he
not
was-
as much
he
as
was-
Steve is saying. He
I
picked
thought
it up.
he was being. I mean, again, he's a Vulcan, but in
and
in that
Steve is
context-
mostly Vulcan. That's why he
That's
can
true.
read it.
But I
Wouldn't-
thought the subtext there was you bastard, you disobeyed me and you got lucky.
right,
I would
watch
think the
that again.
subtext would be less sub for a Vulcan. It wouldn't be so. That's very human. To have to have very well hidden subtext. I don't know. I
My take, I can kind of, now that you say that, I can kind of see
That's how
that.
I read it.
But my take was more like, well, damn, you killed it. I mean, what you did was amazing. We got it. We got to do
Yeah,
this
but
for you.
that's
He
not.
said they want to give you an award. That was very.
Oh, did he say they?
did,
Okay.
Yes. That was that. No, come on. That was.
But don't forget
snarky.
the other.
He was
okay,
Vulcan snarky.
That's fine. But don't forget the other implication of this. When they rescued, what's her name? I forget her
The
name.
Admiral.
They rescued the admiral, and she wanted to
Cornwell.
basically fire
Yeah.
Lorca and say you were just too much of a Kirk character, a wild card.
She wanted to fire him because he was
crazy.
She determined that he was off the rails.
Right. Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. But now that he's done this, she's free. I don't think he has anything to worry about because he basically saved the war essentially.
Well,
Yeah, I might give him
there's
a
another
pass.
big reason why he doesn't have anything to worry about. But we'll get to that. So,
Okay.
all right, so the other big plot thing that happened, which I'm really happy about, was the Discovery destroyed the sarcophagus.
Yes.
Killed
the
Cole-
ship.
Really, that is
Cole.
not Star Trek. Star
No,
Trek
it was great.
stuff like that usually doesn't happen in Star
Yeah,
Trek.
because again, this is not episodic; it's serial,
Yeah.
right? So there's a plot arc here, and stuff happens, and the situation changes, and I love that.
Yeah, I
I
love
love that
Yes.
they killed that guy.
Yeah,
they
he's
destroyed
gone.
the ship. Now the situation is different. We're not
Yep.
just going to be in the same conflict over and over again for the
Yeah.
whole.
That,
even for a whole
I love that
season.
because it was right at the point, and the timing was interesting because
Timing was good.
It was right at the point where I was thinking to myself, wait, they see it cloaked, it's defenseless. take it out, and then right at that moment, Lorca's like, photon torpedoes right now. Awesome.
But if you scroll through all your history watching shows like
Yeah.
this, they usually don't blow up the ship. It's like, oh, why wouldn't they just blow the ship up? Because you remember when you said, hey, if they're beaming people over to the ship, why can't they beam a nuke?
Yes. I think the whole idea of being defenseless in transition from cloaking kind of makes sense, but it also is too much of a vulnerability in my eyes. Because if they can beam people over with impunity, they could beam a nuke and wipe the ship out. Secondly, they could also, all right, we can't see the ship. Where's the ship? Let's just fire a bunch of photon torpedoes, and if you get lucky, that's awesome.
But in the
space
movies,
is big, though.
in other
I forgot that space
Star
is big.
Trek shows, like the movie I can distinctly remember in the movies, the awesome Klingon music playing. As they uncloak, they're firing weapons. It's like we're uncloaking and our shields are up and we're firing weapons. Like they could do it all pretty quickly.
They do very quickly.
This ship was slowly like, you see the green,
Cool effect, by the way.
Whatever, but it took way too long to decloak.
But this is a different cloaking technology.
Yeah.
This is the Klingons cracking
10 years
ass,
early,
It's
It's
early.
not the Romulan more advanced
No,
cloaking.
this is early cloaking
So
that we
so
never
it's
heard of
worse.
until
It's
it makes
more
sense.
vulnerable.
recently.
That makes sense, but it is too vulnerable.
And
now
clearly it's done.
And they killed it. Okay.
And then we got the cliffhanger.
Yes.
Which I love, and I
So-
had my prediction, which I made halfway through the episode.
So set it up, though. Set it up. Why?
Okay.
How did
So,
this happen?
They're going to do one more jump, and they were so telegraphing that.
Oh, man, it was so obvious.
I know. All right, Stamets are going to do just one more jump, and Stamets.
Oh no! Yeah, I'll do one more, and this is my last jump
Ever.
of all time.
Of all time, I'm not going to do it anymore, just to get back to the base.
Yeah.
Right, because he knows that it's doing damage, and he
Yeah.
needs to be assessed, and he's like, I'm not going to do this anymore.
I'll
But
do this.
I'll do
and
this
then
last jump.
I'll put myself in the hands of Starfleet doctors. They can figure out what's happening
Right.
to me, but I'm done. And so they go, okay. And then he says this, I love you to his boyfriend.
Nice big
Yeah, I mean, it was like so
goodbye
telegraphed.
kiss.
Like,
Oh, yeah,
it was so telegraphed that
obvious.
something was going to happen.
First
But
kiss
that's
like that
fine.
on Trek, I
That's
think.
true, probably. And then, of course, something bad happes.
He tweaked out, like he overdid it.
He tweaks out and collapses on the ground. The ship, the navigation is incomplete.
Incomplete navigation,
Incomplete
yes.
navigation, and they wind up lost.
Yeah, but they're in a field of destroyed ships.
They're in a field of debris.
So I
a
wonder
battle
if
debris.
temporarily they're post-war.
Or
Right?
Yeah, so I think
you have another
I
theory.
think they're in the Mirror universe.
Now, all right.
That's my.
Because at one point you saw two ships.
Yes,
Remember that?
You did.
Yep.
You did.
you see
I
that,
was
Bob?
hoping
Yeah.
Stamets was going to come out with this, with the the mirror insignia with the dagger through the air.
Oh, with
I
the
was
mustache?
really
Yeah.
hoping that he was going to come out that way,
Yeah.
or we were going to see him on the other ship,
Yeah.
one or the other. But
Right.
but that didn't happen.
Here's another theory. Now, so you think that's mirror universe?
that's my
I hope,
hypothesis.
and
That's my
I
hypothesis.
might
I
agree
hope
with
it's
that.
the- yeah.
But you also said that it was that they what?
Temporarily, they could be like they could have
leaped.
gone past the war.
year,
That was the battlefield.
Yeah, but
yeah.
here's another option that I think based on the preview for next season, they said something about going too far. My idea was that they went a billion light years away.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
there was ship debris there. Why would there be ship debris?
Other ships throughout history, we've seen this before.
All go
other
to the same
other
place?
ships with similar technology, at some point, they do the same screw up and they go to this this
I don't know
area
about
We
where
that,
basically
Bob.
just
the
had all three
graveyard.
possibilities.
Yes.
Different location, different time, different universe.
Okay,
It's
fine.
one of those, or maybe all three of those, or we don't know.
I don't like your theory though, Bob.
But I don't necessarily care for it either. But they telegraphed it in the
Yeah,
preview.
maybe.
They said you've gone too far.
But far is ambiguous.
It is, but that made me think
And
distance.
that may just be their hypothesis because they haven't figured out they're in a different universe yet.
But that's to
But
me.
Stamets was clearly seeing every iteration. Like he
Oh,
was,
he
Yes.
said it when he was out
Yeah.
lying
he
on
was
the
seeing
ground.
every
Yeah.
universe
He said
at the same time.
He said, what was he saying? He said something like, "I could see
So many of
There's so
them.
many. Yeah, he's looking at all
I
these.
could see them all.
Yeah.
So so it probably is mirror. But
Or just it doesn't have to be the mirror universe, but it could be an alternate universe.
right, it could be a completely different other.
So what would
Type of
the,
thing.
the mirror version of Lorca be like?
Yeah.
Like I guess yeah.
But
that'd be
again,
fun.
it could just be an alternate universe,
Yeah.
not necessarily that specific universe that the Enterprise went to.
Right.
What would be the odds? It would have to be a reason why out of the infinite universes they both went to that.
Well, maybe
same
there's
one.
there's
It
a
could be
strong
they're
connection.
the next one, or
Yeah.
yeah,
the
they're the
stream.
closest one.
And by the way, in the original Star Trek series, that episode, I think it was called Mirror,
Mirror,
right?
mirror, yes.
When Captain Kirk appeals to Spock, it says, "In every revolution, there's one man with a vision."
Yeah.
Spock says, "Captain Kirk, I will consider it."
Yes.
To me, that is the
Great.
best scene in all of Star
I
Trek.
love it.
Me
It's a
too.
classic with the goatee.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
lovely.
it's
Did
classic.
you say I
scene.
shall consider it?
Or probably, I shall consider it. Yeah, close enough.
Please. So liked this episode. It was a good ender to the first
Yep.
chapter. The first.
I didn't like the last episode where it didn't feel like a complete.
Well, it wasn't complete.
I know, but it didn't give me enough meat. There wasn't enough meat on the bones for it. So this together,
Yeah, if you look
episodes
at them
8
together.
and 9 together, fine. It
It
worked.
was a good ender. It was a good cliffhanger.
It was. I was a little
It's-
concerned. The first couple acts were good, but not like season.
Yeah.
Chapter
Yeah.
1 ender. It wasn't, but the last act was like, wow,
Yep.
crazy stuff. So I
They moved a lot of things along.
yep, I like
Nicely.
Without a doubt.
So yeah,
A lot.
so things are happening. I like that. So good. Okay, good. First chapter of the first half of
Yep.
the first season.
Absolutely.
Hey, so listen, if you like the show, tell your friends. You can leave some comments for us or questions on Facebook. We are now putting up all of our past episodes on our YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/The Skeptic's Guide.
Yeah, we're putting it on that channel under its own playlist of Alpha Quadrant 6. If you just search on Alpha Quadrant 6 on YouTube, you'll find them all.
Over the break, we are considering doing a review on many different things.
Let us know what you want us to review.
We could do movies,
And
we could
stay-
do another
yeah.
TV show, we could do a lot, but we're probably only going to do one show during this 2-month break. Right.
Probably that's a reasonable assumption. But so stay tuned and check back with our Facebook page. We'll let you know if and when we're going to be doing any special episodes in the break. Otherwise, we'll see you in January for the second half of the first season.
Yeah. Alpha Quadrant 6.
Signing off. Say it. Say it.
How do you do this one?
Alpha Quadrant 6. Spawn!